Growing up, my family didn't really go to church. I'd occasionally go with some friends or other relatives, but as a family, we didn't go on a consistent basis. I was actually sexually abused by my biological father. His mother, so my biological grandmother, she couldn't believe that he had done something like that. I had a lot of anxiety as a kid, too, I think just because of that trauma. And then I believe the depression probably started when I was in middle school. In high school, it got bad enough that I started self-harming and I had some suicidal thoughts. I remember very clearly that feeling in high school of just wanting to be happy. I thought that if I had better friends or the right friends, if I had a boyfriend, if I was skinnier, if I was prettier, all of these things would make me happy. I know that that's not how it works. So the summer after my sophomore year of college, I started actually 2 part-time jobs. One of them was at the group homes in my hometown, and part of our responsibility on Sundays was actually taking the ladies to church. I still was very deterred away from anything remotely related to church, but I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought that I would. Once I was home for the summer, I started regularly attending church every week that I could, and it was that summer that I decided to fully let Jesus into my heart and wanted to pursue a relationship with him. I had asked a friend if he would read the Bible with me, and he ended up getting me connected with Lily. Lily and I already kind of knew each other because we were both music majors, but we connected through this and we started a discipleship, and she actually invited me to come to the Bridge for the first time. I absolutely loved it. It felt like home from the moment that I walked in the doors. And I remember wanting to get plugged in and get connected more. Not long after that, I had asked about an internship. And so I started interning at the Bridge as well, doing stuff with worship, playing keys on Sunday. We launched Bridge Youth in fall of 2019. And with that, they wanted to have a full worship band every single Wednesday. And so I volunteered to start playing keys for that, and eventually became a youth leader. So that is now how I spend every single Wednesday night, getting to do worship and be at youth with the kids. So once COVID happened, we started doing church online at the Bridge. I offered to help out at the church however they wanted me to with all of that, and I actually got to help film a lot of our church online videos. So my internship had kind of morphed into helping a lot with behind the scenes stuff, whether that was making graphics or filming videos or putting the notes in the computer, just learning a lot about the behind the scenes of ministry. So I got to do that continuously, I think, for about a year. It was at that point that I realized I started to kind of lose the heart behind why I was serving in the capacity that I was. I started to kind of look at this internship as more of a job than an opportunity to serve. I also realize now that it was a lot of why are the things that I want not happening, instead of me asking for God's will and for what he wants for my life. I turned to one of my unhealthy coping mechanisms that I had, which usually was turning to social media. But with that, they ended up asking me to step down from being an intern. Not because of anything, not because I had posted something, but because of the heart behind it, that it was rooted in that frustration and that I took to social media instead of taking the issue to the people that it had to do with. I went from spending every day at the church helping out to not being here, so I really didn't handle this life change very well. I had stopped self-harming when I came to college and had started again probably about a year prior to this, just when I was having a really hard time. So I had been doing that on and off. I think at this point I had stopped for a few months, but I started again in an attempt to cope, but it was probably the most severe that I had ever done. The night my thoughts really started to spiral, I was at the gathering, and I remember I was on worship. I was having a hard time, and I think I just kept messing up like what I was playing, what I was singing, and so I was like, why am I even trying so hard? And then it turned into, well, why are you even here and on stage? To eventually, I don't even want to be here at all. I remember after the gathering, there was a group of people that were going to go out to dinner. I decided to go with them just to give me something to do and put off going and being alone in my apartment. I remember Ben asking me if I was okay. All I was able to do is just shake my head no. He asked if I wanted to talk, and I said, no, I don't. Even if I wanted to talk, I didn't know what I would say to him, so I just said, no, I don't want to talk. But he was like, I'm always here if you do. I ended up texting Ben and Bree asking if I could meet up with them after we went out to dinner. So we came back to the church. We were in the youth space, and I was sitting in one of those big chairs. Bree had come over and sat with me. Ben came over and he sat on the coffee table so that he was directly in front of me. He just started speaking truth over me, telling me that I was loved, that I was cared for, that I was important. Ben had 2 requests of me before I left that night, and just to make sure I was safe, he wanted me to reach out to my counselor, let him know what was going on, but also to reach out to my community so that I could have more support than just the 2 of them. I reached out to Mark and Suzanne, just kind of let them know what was going on because I had leaned on them for some support in the past. Because of my past of self-harm and suicidal thoughts, they thought that it would be best if I got checked out by someone. So that night I ended up going to the ER just to get checked out, but I ended up being admitted to the behavioral health unit, I think for 3 days, though it honestly felt like a lifetime. I remember praying every day that I would get to go home. And every day that I was there longer, I started doubting if God was even listening to me. Honestly started doubting if he even cared about me at all. I really got to see just how much my community actually did care about me and love me. I had friends come and visit me every day that I was in there. Specifically, Ben, Bree, and Mark came every single day to see me, to check on me, make sure that I was doing okay. Their support to me is just amazing. Coming back to God after all of that definitely didn't happen quickly. But I know now that he really used my community to show his love. Specifically, Ben and Bree, their constant and unwavering support honestly is just mind-blowing to me. It's amazing knowing that what God has for me, that God loves me, just how much they love me is a fraction of how much God loves me is just absolutely amazing. I'm joyful. I know what true joy is and that comes from the Lord, and I know that I have that in my heart. I'm beyond thankful for my community and every moment that I get to spend with any one of them. I'm grateful for every opportunity I have to serve here in the church and to further the kingdom. I know that it's okay to struggle. My feelings are valid, but I also know that they don't control me. To everyone listening today, I just want to say the same thing that was said to me. You are so loved.